on Mike Avery Outdoors, and good morning over on YouTube, Instagram over here, YouTube. Good morning, John. Nice to have you along with us. Brennan, good morning. How are you, Mad Jack? I don't know, Mad Jack, how you get in there so early. I'm not even live and I'm seeing comments, but anyway, nice to have you along with us. Solomon, good morning. How are you? Solomon Dog, I love that. Good morning, John. Nice to have you with us. Shelby Woo. How are you, kiddo? My name is Mike Avery, and this is another edition of Behind the Mic. So it's actually Mike behind the mic. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Bruce. How are you? Bigger 87 with us. Rec Broadhead's with us. I can't wait to put a wreck through a whitetail, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. Our cameras are showing some nice bucks out on the leased property. My week was wonderful, Ross. How are you? Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Martin. Tim, nice to have you along with us. Rec Broadhead's a Michigan-based company, family-owned company. You know I love that. And I'm very impressed with their products so far. Only taken a bear with them so far, but I'll be taking a turkey next spring and a whitetail this fall as well. Speaking of whitetails, Scott Gatsa, good morning. Great show last Wednesday night. Appreciate that. It was a lot of fun to be up there. Hello, Mark. Nice to have you along with us. It was nice to meet you, Mark. Eric, good morning from the tree stand. 6 deer, 3 little bucks. And the rut is on. The rut is on. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Dog says he wants to do a rabbit hunt. I would be open to that. Craig Plowman, good morning, buddy. How are you? Chris checking in from Kansas, Big Buck State. Aditya, how are you? Got the whole crew with us this morning, huh? Tony, good morning. A great knife enabler. And what is the knife of choice? It is the Rapid River knife, always in my pocket. Frost on the pumpkins. Really? I don't know where you are. Good morning, Nick. How are you, buddy? Nick now has one of these. Not this one, because this one is mine. A Rapid River knife, but Nick now has one. Getting close to the rut's getting close. Yeah, it is, certainly. Scott loves a trail camera. Phone is buzzing with turkeys, deer. Good morning. Justin, good morning. How are you? How are things on Instagram this morning? My name is Mike Avery, and this is another edition of Mike Behind the Mic. I'm here live from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Jason checking in from the Ira Township Fire Department. Gus at Pizza Sam's. Good morning, buddy. How are you? Live on Joe harvested me a nice 10-point Friday morning. Have I seen the picture, Joe? I don't think you've sent it to me. Please send it, and I will share it. Norm checking in from Beaverton live this morning on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, of course. 1,400 in the Sioux. Excellent. By the way, I've added 6 new radio stations this week. 6 new stations in one fell swoop, all of them in the UP. Yeah, I talked about Nick Percy a lot here last week, Mike. Lost him to COVID at 50 years old. He went into the hospital on his 50th birthday. Well, Joe, try it again. I'd love to see it. Or just send it to me. Email Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Brian says he missed the feral cat post pic. I'll be talking about that. A lot of people want to get their panties in an uproar, or whatever the term is. Panties in a knot, whatever. And people say things on social media they would never say to your face. For example, I had a guy tell me to something off. He came on my Facebook page, made a post, and told me to something off. He said, Mike Avery, why don't you just off? I will guarantee you that little dweeb geek sissy never would have done that to me in person. I will guarantee it. But he had the guts to say it online. Here we go. Jim says, Mike, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. No, he ain't coming on my Facebook page again because he has been banned and deleted. You want to get banned from my Facebook page, you drop an F-bomb. And if you direct it at me, it's going to happen before you can blink your eyes. Iron Wheel Farms over on Facebook. Good morning. How are you? Saw $2 chasing a doe so far. See, it's kicking off. It's on. And that's one of the things I'll talk about in this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. The fact that the rut has kicked off. I went to Darton to have a friend's crossbow limbs replaced. While there, I had a crossbow looked at, needed new limbs as well. Customer service was phenomenal. As always, talked to Ted for a few minutes. I love Darton Archery. DartonArchery.com. Again, a Michigan-based company. Good morning, Mike Horswell of Jay's Sporting Goods, jaysportinggoods.com. Appreciate your comments. Bud 11111111111 joining over on Instagram. Social media. I mean, I'm live on social media. I'm streaming on social media right now. I love social media as a way to reach people. But I also hate social media because it brings out the worst in people. Good morning, Dave Janis. How are you? I talked about the new UP stations, by the way. I'm back on now in Marquette. I'm back on in Iron Mountain. I've now picked up 2 stations in Escanaba and 2 stations in Manistee as well. Marty says he was hunting the last day of bear season. No luck. Paul says, go blue. Why? Is there a football game this weekend? What's going on this weekend? Many more bucks than does. Counted 15 and some big ones, passing on the little ones, Scott says. Chris Beebe in Kansas. So far, I've seen a nice 8-point, some smaller bucks, all within 30 yards. There, Scott says, now go green. I knew that was coming. Yeah, there's some kind of football going on this weekend, and I don't know. I heard both teams are undefeated or something. I don't know. I heard it starts at noon. So I don't know. John says MSU versus Michigan. Yeah, I know, John. I don't live under a rock, although sometimes I would like to. J.R. Green says, good morning, Mike. Good morning, J.R. Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Behind the Mic. Hunter Joe, Heidi Ho, good neighbor. How are you, buddy? All right, I'll look for him. Listen, time is running out. If you want to go walleye fishing with me on Saginaw Bay next summer, and this is to benefit the Real Men Wear Pink campaign to fight breast cancer. Anytime I can get involved in any kind of a project to fight breast cancer, I am all in. My mother's fought it twice. I lost a niece to it. My sister-in-law's had it. It's a vile cancer is like a plague on the earth these days. So if I can get involved in helping raise awareness and raise some funds to fight it and go fishing, I am all in. On Instagram, if you go to the link on my profile page, there's a link where you can click on it and you can bid on that auction. I've also put a link this morning on Facebook. It's an online auction, but you're running out of time because the deadline is tonight. I think we will announce the winner hopefully tonight on Wednesday Night Live. So I would encourage you to bid on that. It's a day of walleye fishing with me, Captain Mike Avery. Craig says he's the high bidder right now, but I hope it goes higher. I think it will. It's only at $700 right now. The last one I did went for like $2,000. A day of walleye fishing with me, Captain Mike Avery, on Saginaw Bay. Next summer, our first mate will be Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation. I'm doing this for Jason's Real Men Wear Pink campaign. Larry says right now, excellent walleye fishing from the breakwall on Harbor Beach late in the evening. And somebody else said the bay is on fire right now. Scott says that. We will go walleye fishing at a mutually agreeable date. Randy says he just put the boat away. Sad day. And it helps benefit the Real Men Wear Pink campaign to raise awareness and fight breast cancer. Brent says, always a good time fishing with you. Brent, I appreciate that. So I would encourage you to bid on that. Good cause, and it'll be a lot of fun. Good morning, Todd. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Behind the Mic. My name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio getting ready to do this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Who's on the show this week, you might ask? Joe says they had a blast fishing with me in July. Well, Joe, why don't you bid on this trip? Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives joins me. We did a very fun Wednesday Night Live last week from the Rapid River showroom. But Chris is going to talk about the best day of hunting he has ever had. In the same day, in the UP, he took a nice bear and a nice buck. We're going to hear the story of that. And we'll talk about Rapid River knives. What kind of knife do you need? How to keep your knife sharp, how to maintain it. Then Bill Winowicki, who is the president of the Michigan Charter Boat Association. What I'm going to try to get out of Bill, and I don't know if I can because I think he is legally bound to silence. I want to try to get an update on the consent decree negotiations with the tribes. Got to go make dough. Got to go. All right, guys, have a good day, buddy. I don't think he can talk about it, but I want to talk about the state of the charter industry in Michigan. They had a conference last weekend, a week and a half ago in Bay City. I wasn't able to go because I was hunting in Ohio. I want to know if any news came out of that. Salmon plants, are we going to get more salmon, king salmon planted back in Lake Michigan or not? Ross says he was there this weekend. Mike, awesome place. Thanks for the heads up. There, you're welcome, Ross, and thanks for heading up. Hump day. Daryl says it's hump day. Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Then in hour number 2, we're going to talk about hunting the whitetail rut with Tom Nelson of the American Archer TV show, theamericanarcher.com. Emily Sewell from the DNR. What was Emily going to talk about? TB, CWD? I don't remember, but it was disease related. This week's Ask Avery segment. You know, that's a good question because I forgot to do a little research about what we're going to talk about in this week's Ask Avery segment. That one completely slipped through the cracks. I have no idea. We'll come up with something. And in hour number 3, Mark Martin joins me. Mark was on just a few weeks ago, but I want to follow up with him. He has been up in the Keweenaw, whitetail hunting and bear hunting. We'll see if he did as well as Chris Durson of Rapid River did. Mark says steelhead should be in the rivers now. They sure should. Ross says Craig Plowman is no longer the high bidder. Well, who would be then, Ross? Justin, nice to have you along with us over on Instagram. By the way, my name is Mike Avery, and this is Behind the Mic. It's actually Mike Behind the Mic. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. So Mark Martin in hour number 3 of this week's show, and then also Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dave Miner. I'm also recording Polar Craft podcast this week with Captain Dean. I got a mental block on Dean's last name. Dean Cushman from Hardcore Charters. We'll talk about fall fishing. Richard says, you sound like Yogi when you say hump day. I'm trying to sound like the camel. It's hump day. And you got to be of a certain age to even know what that commercial is about. So Ross Elliott is now the high bidder on the walleye fishing trip with me on Saginaw Bay next summer to benefit Real Men Wear Pink. That ends tonight. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? That ends tonight. I would encourage you to bid on that. We will have fun. We will catch some fish. I can't guarantee how many fish we'll catch. We'll catch some fish. Will we limit out? Probably not. Will we have fun? You can count on it. Will we raise money for a good cause? Absolutely. Love to have you get involved. The link is on my profile page on Instagram. I just posted it on Facebook again this morning as well. It's to benefit the Real Men Wear Pink campaign for my buddy Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation. I love to have you get involved in that. Good morning, Brian. How are you? All right. What else is going on? I talked about 6 new stations in the UP. Oh, 10 hours and 28 minutes left. Yeah, that would make sense. Scott says you will have fun. Scott's fished with me before, and we caught some fish too, didn't we, Scott? 6 new stations in the UP. Chris Durson from Rapid River had a hand in that, and I have to thank Mike Daniels from Radio Results Network for making that happen. Parts of that deal had been in the works for a while. I mean, I was telling Pat here in the studio, there are times when I will work for 2 years to get on one station. There he is right now, the man himself, Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives, rapidriverknifeworks.com. And Chris, I was just thanking you for your role in helping me pick up 6 UP radio stations in one fell swoop. There have been times when I have worked for years to try to get on one station, so to pick up 6 is a big deal. So I am now back on in Marquette, WDMJ 1320. I am back on in Iron Mountain, WMIQ 1450. And now I'm now on in Escanaba, WCHT 600 AM and 95.3 FM. And also in Manistee on WTIQ 1490 AM and 95.3 FM. Those stations, I just got a backer, someone we both know wants to fish. Would his initials be, well, would his initials be Brent? And those UP stations will air the show Saturday morning from 9 till noon, which is a pretty prime spot. Again, Mike Daniels at Radio Results Network. Thanks for making that happen. I was talking about the Wednesday Night Live that we did at Rapid River Knife Works at the showroom last week. What a lot of fun that was. And many of you have said as a result of that, you have gone to the showroom to buy a knife or have plans to go and buy a knife. Thanks. I'm telling you. Oh, it's not Ross, or it's not Brent. The best knife I've ever owned. Handmade, custom made at the by the craftsman at Rapid River in the UP, rapidriverknifeworks.com. Nick Grillo picked up a knife while we were there last week. How cool was that? It's a silent partner. Why silent, Ross? Well, somebody we both know. Avid, Brent, Scott. Do you and Scott know each other? Scott has a lot of money. So, Ross, he's the guy you want to get involved in this. Scott is rich. So if Scott decides he wants to throw some money at this, you guys will become the high bidders. Selway Archery, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. They even etched his knife. They engraved it like mine. See that name right there? See? It's hard to see in that camera. Boy, you scared me for a minute there, Pat. Yeah. Great hats. They also have great hoodies, too. Yeah, there we go. Here's an audio check for Pat Johnson in the studio with me. Pat, are you doing the show this morning? Oh, Charlie's doing the show this morning. Charlie Root is doing the show this morning. I will keep talking here so Pat can get an audio level. This is called, in broadcast terms, this is an audio check. Sibilance. Check. Getting an audio level. We're recording this for air this weekend. Which Scott Gatza, Ross. Scott Gatza is rich. He has a lot of money. He's a retired Dow guy, so he's loaded. So if he gets involved and starts bidding, we could put that thing way, way up in price. And of course, it's for a good cause, right? The Real Men Wear Pink campaign to raise awareness. Thank you, Pat, to raise awareness about breast cancer. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Man, this is such a special time when 2 broadcast icons, legends, future Hall of Famers end up here in the studio with me, Pat Johnston and Charlie Rood. It is a very, very special day.
It's only because we're riding your coattails.
Hey, speaking of coattails, 6 new stations this week. Wow. 6 at one time.
Wow. Congratulations. Big news.
I'd like to tell you they're Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids. They're not, but they're in the UP, and I'm very happy to be on. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, Scott Gatza says, I was the high bidder at one time. Audio guys love those P's and S's. Sibilance. Sibilance. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, it's like time here, guys. Steve Anthony says, don't ever tip charter fishing guys with Cole's cash. People have asked me about tipping guides and fishing guides and stuff with product or gear. I mean, I think they'd rather have cash, right? Now, if it's the right, I mean, if it's a hunting guide and you got a super duper backpack and he's wanted this backpack for a long time, maybe something like that. But I think cash is the way to go. 20 seconds. And I have both of my devices tied up, so I'm going to have to run my timer on my watch. So anyway, please bid on the charter fishing trip with me on Saginaw Bay. Is that real? Are you doing it? Hey, is that real, guys? Okay. Okay. And then join me tonight at Wednesday Night Live. I don't know if we will be able to announce the winner yet at that time, but that's when the contest ends. Oh, my band is coming out of my watch here. There we go. All right. Anyway, my friends, have a great day. Join me tonight as I try to get a timer going here. All apps, timer, boom. Okay. All right, have a good day, my friends. Stick around if you want as I record the first segment and join me tonight. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. So glad to have you along with us as we continue our celebration of the great outdoors here in the great state of Michigan. My name is Mike Avery, also known as the Big Guy, and so glad to have you along with us. This is such a wonderful time of year. Yes, the month of Rocktober is starting to draw to a close. How did that happen? How did we already get to Halloween and the end of Rocktober? Time does fly when you're having fun. Right now, the thing that has my attention, and I am so glad to be back embracing this world of deer hunting. I had struggled with this for the last few years and struggled with it for the wrong reasons, and maybe I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But I am so excited right now that the whitetail rut is either kicking off or in full swing, however you want to describe it. But there is no doubt, if you have been in the whitetail woods or driving down the road observing what happens in the woods right now, that the rut is heating off. What is the rut, you might say? The rut it's basically the whitetail breeding season. It's a time of year when the testosterone level in the bucks raises. You can see their necks swell up. They start chasing does all around. If you put a buck down, you'll notice he has a certain smell to him. And I feel sorry for the does this time of year because they get run all over the place. It seems like they never get to rest. They're always getting chased around, but you can see it. You can see it in the whitetail behavior. You can see it in the scrapes, in the rubs. People say, "What's a scrape? What is a rub?" And they get this confused. Oh, I saw a scrape on a tree the other day. No, you didn't. You saw a rub on a tree. The rubs are on the trees. The scrapes are on the ground. And it's kind of a minor thing, but it's like, there's no such thing as a tree blind. No, it's a tree stand. If you can stand on it, it's a stand. If you can get in it, it's a blind. But minor detail. But the rut is indeed kicking off, and it's not unexpected. People usually say Halloween is the unofficial kickoff of the whitetail rut. A lot of that depends on moon phase and such, which I don't pretend to understand. And to be honest with you, I don't really care. I'm not at that level, and probably never will be again, where I start thinking about the super moons and blue moons and moon phases. The only thing I think about it with a moon is I don't like to hunt big game on a full moon. Period. Beyond that, I don't get too worked up about it. But Halloween, those last few days of October, the first 2 weeks of November, if you can be in the whitetail woods from now for the next couple of weeks, I would encourage you to get out there, because those big bucks that you maybe only saw during the summertime out in the bean fields and they've disappeared now, you have a better chance here in the next 2 weeks of seeing them on their feet during daylight hours than any other time of the year during the hunting season. So get out there and enjoy it. I've been out, have not seen a big buck yet. Haven't seen one that I want to shoot. I've seen some small bucks. But that could all change, right? My dad used to say the thing about deer hunting is all you need is the right 30 seconds. You just have to be in the woods at the right time, in the right place with the right animal walking by, and you can go from absolute boredom to the most exciting day hunting of your life. And it can happen in the blink of an eye, literally. You might be blinking your eyes trying to stay awake, and then you hear crunch, 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 crunch. And here comes a doe wandering by or jogging by or running by with a beautiful buck right on her tail. Now, stopping that buck can sometimes be a challenge, right? Because they've got other things on their mind and they don't want to stop in front of you and turn broadside and quarter away at 20 yards. And again, I'm glad to have my interest in hunting back. I had lost it for the wrong reasons. I had let the baloney of social media get to me, and I shouldn't have done that. And this is something I fight all the time. And you might say, well, why even let it bother you? Because my job as a broadcaster, my primary job is to do a radio show, now on 32 stations across the state, by the way. More on that coming up. That's my job. My secondary job is as a podcaster, and I do several of those. And as part of my overall job, it's to be very much involved in social media. By meaning, I post a lot of pictures, I post a lot of posts, a lot of comments, a lot of video, and I do a lot of live streaming as well. So I have to be on social media to reach people and to get the message about and to promote hunting and fishing and encourage others to get involved. So I have to use that media outlet because it's too pervasive. It reaches too many people. It's free, and I would be a poor businessman and a fool not to take advantage of it. So I am forced to be involved in social media. And I say forced because as much of a positive force as social media is, it brings out the worst in people. It brings out the absolute idiocy in people often. And I've seen that too many times. And I got in too many negative conversations over deer hunting that it just soured me. It soured me to a part of my life that was so important for many years. I grew up deer hunting. I grew up not understanding whitetail behavior or movement or scrapes or rubs or anything else, but I grew up looking forward to November 15th, sitting out on a stump wearing blaze orange or maybe even red when I was a kid. I don't remember. And I let the online junk ruin my joy. And I've just decided to take that back over. The junk is still there. We had a post this last week, more on this whole feral cat situation. If you were with me a couple of weeks ago, you know that MUCC, Michigan United Conservation Clubs, in their annual convention, voted to pass a resolution that would make feral cats an invasive species. Now, what does that do? Invasive species means you can shoot them at any time without a license, any time of year. And as you can imagine, that makes some people upset. Primarily the cat ladies. Did I just say that? I don't think I can take that back now. Oh, I am in huge trouble now. But there is no doubt that cats wandering the woods are very effective predators on small game and game birds. There's no doubt about it. But the argument is, well, what's a feral cat and what's a tame cat? Some people say if it's wandering the woods when I'm out hunting, it's a feral cat. If it's in your yard or in your house, it's a house cat. But once it wanders off into the Fluffy or BB or Muffy or whoever her name is, may be your favorite companion and a great friend to you, and she keeps you company. But if you let her wander out at night and she goes out hunting, she then becomes a predator. Very effective predator. Anyway, I posted video on the Facebook page of a guy who was out hunting, and he had a deer in front of him, and a cat wandered through, and it kind of scared the deer, and nothing happened. Nothing was shot. Nothing was killed. But I posted this video and said, yeah, this is interesting. And it also points out the fact that, as a reminder, that a cat like this wandering the woods, if MUCC gets their way, would be considered a feral cat and a legal target. And that's all I said. I didn't say I think wild cats should be shot. I didn't show video of a cat being shot. But man, people came out of the woodwork. And boy, did I get attacked. And it reminded me of how much I sometimes hate social media. And just a reminder, if you come at me on my Facebook page and drop an F-bomb or tell me to go do something to myself that is very, very rude, you're gone. You're gone. I don't put up with it. I don't put up with it at all. On a lighter note, we've added 6 new Outdoor Magazine radio affiliates, 32 stations across the state now. I've got to thank Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives for helping to make this happen. Mike Daniels of the Radio Results Radio Network. I'm back on now in Marquette on WDMJ 1320 AM. I'm back on now in Iron Mountain, WMIQ 1450 AM. I'm now on in Escanaba, WCHT AM and FM 600 AM 95.3 FM, and in Manistee, WTIQ 1490 AM 95.3 FM. Man, does that feel good. 6 stations in one fell swoop. Appreciate that very much. We'll take a break here on the Outdoor Magazine Show. When we come back, in fact, I'm going to check in with Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives. He had the best day of hunting in his entire life. We'll get the details on that. And then Bill Winowicki, the president of the Michigan Charter Boat Association. Tom Nelson in hour number 2, Emily Siebel of DNR, and in hour number 3, Mark Martin and wild game chef Dave Miner. Coming up right here on Outdoor Magazine. Oh, am I going to get in trouble for saying cat ladies? I can see that coming right now. You know what? I don't care. Bring it. All right, my friends, have a great day. Again, you've only got like 10 hours left now if you want to get in on the auction to go walleye fishing with me on Saginaw Bay next summer to benefit the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. There's a link on the Facebook page. There is a link on my Instagram feed as well. All right, my friends, have a great day. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic, and have a great day. Okay, and that one, my email address, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, the website, mikeaveryoutdoors.com. And thanks for joining.